YouTube. So in this part of the M16 build video, we are going to be removing this 16-inch barrel that has been on this rifle for a long time, and we'll be installing the 20-inch barrel. We'll be removing the front sight base, gas block, and installing this on the new barrel because I do not want to install a new sling swivel and I do not want to reinstall these. So we're just going to take this whole thing off this barrel and call her a day. Enjoy. So our first step is going to be removing this front handguard, right? We're going to do that by pulling back on this delta ring and then pulling down and out on these. Now we have this handguard removed, right? We are left with the barrel, the gas tube, the front sight block, just all this stuff here. Be putting this in there, gas tube up, place this in its tomb, and we'll be moving this into the vise, and we'll be continuing it there. Okay, using our punch and our hammer, we're going to tap out these two pins that hold on the gas block. We'll also be removing the gas tube, but I'm going to be removing the gas block first, pulling the whole assembly off, and then pulling the barrel off, right? So let's hop to it. All right, now we have both these pins out, right? Now our gas block will just run free. It's been on there for a minute. Look at that, years of carbon buildup. But I mean, overall, not that bad. You can see our gas tube. We can now remove the barrel. But before we remove the barrel, we're going to pull the A2 birdcage flash hider off of there, just so we can slip this all the way out and then be rid of the barrel. We'll be using the Brownells wrench. Place that right on there. Gonna be this one here. It is. Oh, all right, fine, that'll go upside down. Anyway, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And just like that, we have our birdcage flash hider and our crushed crush washer. This will be going on the new barrel because it doesn't come with one. We'll now pull this. Here's our whole gas system. Very cool, right? Now we've got our delta ring assembly, which is free flowing on there. Very silly, silly Billy indeed. We're gonna take our barrel nut wrench. We're gonna put it right on here. And same thing as the flash hider. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. No way. Look at that. Super easy. Now we have the exposed barrel. See right in there. We have our delta ring. Very cool. And now we will pull this barrel straight out of the action. A receiver, upper receiver. I don't know, it's out. All right, YouTube, it's out, the barrel's out. Well, here's kind of a cool look at, you know, the components of your upper receiver and your whole upper, really. We have a 16-inch barrel with little cutouts, right? Very cool, right? We also have our front sight block. Very cool. We've got the upper. This is the aluminum portion. Amazingly light. I mean, obviously it's light, it's aluminum, but you rarely get to play with just the upper. It's not quite a stripped upper as we still have our forward assist. Yes, I'm going to be maintaining the A2 forward assist. I'm not putting an A1 forward assist in here. I am keeping the flat top rail. So this won't be really an M16, A1, A2, or A4, because I'm going to have a lot of A1 parts and a lot of, I guess, A1 style stuff, A4 style stuff. This is very cool. You can see how this just screws right on here. Oh, yeah, obviously it's not spinning. The interior portion, the Delta ring doesn't screw onto anything, but that comes off. We have our little front retainer clip with a little gas tube indicator and our flash hider. All right, we're gonna throw the 20-inch barrel on there now, and it's gonna be cool. So now that we have everything apart, we have all our new pieces, putting it back together is gonna be easy, right? We have our new rifle length gas tube, new barrel, triangle handguard retainer, 20-inch barrel, heavy barrel all the way through. So this is not a government profile barrel, but an actual heavy barrel. Very skookum from Delton, just came in the mail today. We're gonna be throwing this on as a placeholder, but we will be taking it off. This is not permanent. A2 birdcage flash hider, or I might just leave it off and throw a suppressor on it. And then obviously for show, we have the 203 grenade launcher, Grenadier barrel shroud. So first thing we're gonna do is slide this on here, right? It's gonna be a little bit stiff, and it might take a little bit of popping to get on there. See that right there? That little notch and that little peg, that'll pop right on there. Now we're gonna throw this in the vise. I just moved the Delta ring over here, and I'll just move the little bits and pieces from that front sight block into this one. Right, no big deal. Upper, barrel, mate them together. The notch goes in the notch. We're gonna throw this in the vise. So, we're gonna take this barrel nut, Delta ring, screw it on over here. Take a barrel wrench, and it's just like taking it off, right? Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. We can start a good portion of it by hand, actually, and then we'll go to the wrench. All right, once you get it where it feels snug, we're gonna take our torque wrench, we're gonna torque it to 30 inch-pounds, 30 foot-pounds. And look at that, popped right there. So now, because the torque spec is between 30 and 80, that gives us a lot of leeway. And basically, we're gonna spin this up. Come on, bugger, kind of a bugger. But basically we just wanna line up our gas block. Using a little punch for that, and we're just gonna turn it until that's lined up. Once you have this torqued down properly, we're gonna align all of our springs and doohickeys so that we can put in our gas tube. So you have the split ring washer on the back, you have the spring, and then you have this, I guess, the Delta ring itself. And you want all of these to be aligned so the gas tube can travel through them. I'm using this little punch, and look at that, nice and lined up. So now we can take our rifle length gas tube. We got this all lined up properly, or what appears to be properly anyway. Open side's gonna go in the upper, closed side's gonna go in the gas block. Look at that, super easy. Align your retainer. Then bring this in. Perfect, perfect. Once everything's properly aligned right here, which it is, we're gonna take our roll pin. We're just gonna put it right in there, right? They're a little tricky to start. In fact, I might use a pair of pliers here. Well, once you get that roll pin in, which is a huge pain in the ass, as roll pins are, that took me a couple minutes off camera, but it's now installed. We now have our barrel installed, we have our D-ring, and all you have to do is throw your upper back together, just like you would after cleaning. Pop that in there. All right, we now have that together. Pop that closed. Slide this on, and look at that. Look at how badass that is. All right, we'll grab our lower, we'll throw it on there. Now we have an abomination. Isn't that cool? We have the flat top carry handle with an A1 stock, an A2 Grenadier barrel, PSA rubberized A1 grip, Vietnam 20 round mag, Colt marked M16. Pretty cool. I will be throwing an ACOG or maybe a little 1x4 on here. And I would like to find a way to attach this Cobra 37mm grenade launcher onto the bottom, right around there. Don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but this kind of wraps it up for at least creating the weapon. Before we go, I will show it to you in an A1 configuration. All right, some silly business here. While we're trying to mount this, I now realize that these halves came from different batches, and this one's actually slightly larger and won't fit in my handguard retainer. So we're gonna file this just a hair. We're not destroying anything, and we'll be right back. After just a little bit of help from my old friend, the file and the sandpaper, we have now created a situation where these can actually go on the rifle. Very cool stuff. Okay, so that was an extremely tight fit to get on there. And after getting them on, I now realize this is an extremely weird feeling handguard. Wow. This is what we sent to Southeast Asia. Silly rifle, right? Silly rifle, but we do have original Vietnam era front handguard, rear stock, and magazine. We will be adding an optic, and we have a 3-position selector, safe, semi, and binary. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. I will likely be keeping the Grenadier barrel shroud on there more often than not, but this is pretty cool, right? Pretty cool rifle. Thanks for watching.